Kia ora, welcome back once again, here with another reaction to Mr. DJ Shipley on the Shawn Ryan Show. So let's jump back in.
And that's what that dude did. He showed us, like, if you want to be a professional, if you want to be the guy, you have to go all the way. Whether that was good advice or bad advice, I took it literally. And I started to set up little walls, little break-off points in relationships and friendships and everything else. If you impede anything on this progression, I'm done. Not one fucking second will I give to you, because you're not worth the end state. You're not worth me sacrificing my dreams and my hopes and all my wants and wishes. I want to be the best Navy SEAL I can possibly be. And if you slow me down 1 second, I'll never talk to you again.
Wow. That is, for me, that's powerful to hear, because I can connect with that. I can resonate with that. I've used the words for me on reflection, looking back, for me in terms of how selfish I was. Like, that's all I wanted. That's the only reason I joined the Defence Force was to go to the SAS, to the Special Air Service, and serve and do that job, to be utilized and to be deployed on operations. And come what may, if I never made it home, then so be it. But that's what he's sharing there, and what he was talking about with one of their leaders, who was the guy, the man. And hearing DJ talking about how he took that literally. Yeah, that was my mindset. And so when I talk about how selfish I was, the fact that I had a girlfriend, we weren't married, and then even once I married my sweetheart, and then even once we had children, like, I was still just pushing, wanted to just serve and be in that job and train and get ready, not just the physical PT training, but training skills wise, with the weapons, with the tactics, with, if it meant jumping out of the planes, if it meant being better at the MOE, the method of entry, or doing the demolitions, or staying back late and doing extra work. Like, I was there for it. I was you get me to do, now that I'd made it into the unit, you get me to do anything within the unit, within the squadron, within the regiment, in preparation for deploying on operations. Like, I'm there for it. Picking up brass, cleaning weapons, cleaning vehicles, loading up, getting everything prepped and ready in case we have to deploy. Anything. Like, I'm there for it. That's how I felt about it. Hearing him speak about, if you distract me, or words to that effect, take me away from his end state, his objective, then he will not give a minute of time to you. Man, that's powerful stuff. I don't think I had that approach towards working with people, like, because I don't think I was, like, my only real friends in Australia at that time within the unit were the people within the unit. And then I had some, well, not even good friends outside of the Defence Force. Like, my good friends was my wife and our children, who were little babies at the time. So yeah, it's powerful listening to DJ speak about what it, and I think that's probably the point I'm trying to get across. What I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling from DJ when he's speaking is how much it means to him, how much it means to him. And that's the part that I can really connect and resonate with. How much it means. People don't get it. People are like, how can you go and fight for governments that are corrupt and greed and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Like I said in many other videos, me choosing to go in and serve, and many other people that I've worked and served with and spoken to, it's got nothing to do with the government. Go there because it just gives us a sense of purpose, gives us a place whereby we can use what we feel we have, talent, skills, ability-wise, for something that's bigger than ourselves. And that's my take. Those are my reasons for why I joined. Right or wrong, it is what it is.
Like, I don't have time for it. Like, this community, that organization, this job deserves the very best of me. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, everything. Tactically. And you have to completely, in my opinion, to reach the highest level you possibly can, you have to cut out all the other bullshit. And I thought that job deserved it. I did. I grew up with my entire life, and you've never met a dude who loved being a Navy SEAL more than me. I just did. Every day I woke up, even through the bullshit, where everybody's complaining in the platoon space on this and that. I loved it. I'd come home and I just smile, man. Just thankful to be there. Thankful that I'm doing exactly what I was put on this earth to do. I loved it.
Man, you know what? I think I speak for myself, and I'm sure for many other people. Like, and thankful to have somebody like DJ or men like DJ in that unit that treasure that role, that space, that place, the people that you work with, and the opportunities and the skills that you learn. But yeah, grateful. We're grateful. I'm grateful anyway. You got people like DJ that turn up to work like that. How, if you can't feel or hear that through DJ's words when he's speaking, man, take the earplugs out and just have a listen to how he's speaking about this work. I can connect with that on so many different levels. There is just something about it that I can't articulate properly. But if you listen to DJ, he does a pretty damn good job in my book.
Did you cut any important relationships, or was it just acquaintances and little bullshit?
No, I cut all kinds of shit out. We had people in a platoon life, people that spread a lot of hate, a lot of discontent, a lot of shit talking, a lot of guys that call them 9-to-5ers. The last one in here, you show up 5 minutes before our first muster, and you're the first dude bouncing out of here at 4 p.m. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Birds of a feather. I'm going to shun myself, and I'm going to isolate myself with only people that are better than me and that are going to help me achieve the level I want to achieve. The people that want to stay late and train, the guys that want to show up early and work out, the guys that are doing O courses on Saturday and Sunday, like the guys who are going to fully commit. That's who I'm going to surround myself with. And it's the best thing I ever did. It gave me the focus. I could just strip out everything and I could just tunnel vision. Every day had a purpose. Like today I'm doing fitness. I'm not checking my phone. I don't have social media wasn't a thing. You didn't have to deal with any kind of bullshit like that. But you could just scrub away bad relationship toxicity out of your life. So we do that deployment. It was a long stand down. It was really eating away at the boys, the overall collective. Long story short, we deployed in a big joint fashion, and the Rangers had an issue.
Back to Iraq, you deployed.
Back to Iraq, back to Baghdad. Had all the assets. Third time. Full rotation, and it was awesome. Like the targets that we inherited was amazing. Like we were going to be getting it. And I think we were there for 10 or 15 days, and we were just feeling ourselves out, the asset schedule and everything else, like all the things that actually make the machine run. We were slowly figuring out. I was a team leader at the time. So I'm in all the briefings and all the meetings, and the Rangers go out and they get into a firefight and they kill a guy. And it happens to be one of the Sheikh's son-in-laws. And they threw some political shitstorm into the air, and they stood us down for 90 consecutive days. So we have all the task force people there. We have everything, helos, everything. And every day they'd come in, roll 24, roll 24. Should be on Friday. It's a long weekend. It's a 4-day weekend. On Tuesday, we'll get an update. Friday, we'll get an update. And they kept doing that the entire time.
I'm guessing roll 24 is like a stand down for 24 hours type thing. That's what I'm guessing anyway. I don't know the terms or the acronyms that the US use, but that seems to make sense to me. Roll 24, just roll over, stand down. And you'll find out on Friday. That's sort of what I'm picking up on. That may not be it, but if somebody can correct me, then that'll be appreciated too.
So, I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of guys overseas that just want to fight, just want to get out of the door, and you're not letting them, and you're not telling them why. Like, we didn't do anything. I didn't shoot that dude. I wasn't on that target. None of our people were. Why are you punishing us? And then you got to feel being a political pawn. And then you realize that it was nothing to do with us. Just some guy flexing is not going to let you do your job. But it eroded the cohesion of that entire organization. Like, we were at each other's throats, man. It was bad. Just the living conditions. Like, you wouldn't see people for days. There was no reason to have a meeting. It's like we weren't training. We were just rusting. And luckily, Barrett kind of pulled us out of that, and he'd have basically pulled all the guys together. We do CQB. We go to flat range. We started training that group within the group. That spread to collective, and we kind of just, it took a little bit, but we all got back on step. And on around the 90th day, he came in and he said, "Fuck it, we're moving." And we lifted that entire package and we drove it down the road a couple hours to Fob Warhorse, and we set up there. And it was busy. Like, it was everything we wanted to do. We inherited a bunch of target sets from the Army side, which is really good. Got to interface with those guys a lot. Got to learn about palm groves and a bunch of new TTPs that we hadn't even thought about. Things that would have really helped us in 2007, we're now learning now. Like, yep, I've been there. I know exactly what he's talking about. So we got to learn a shit ton. We got to put it to good use. It was good.
Who are you working with from the Army?
So we had a Ranger element with us. We had the Tier 1 personality there. 2-2 SAS was in the same compound. So it was so funny, man. The SAS, I fucking love those dudes. They'd roll through the chow hall and they've all got American flag patches on. I'm like, "What's the patch?" And he said, "Got to blame it on somebody." Fucking assholes. Like, okay.
That doesn't sound surprising at all. Hard case though. The Brits have got some really good chat. I'm not sure if they were there, if the Aussie regiment or the Kiwi regiment guys are there, because I've just heard DJs mention the 2-2 SAS guys. American flags, got to blame it on somebody. Crack up. But I love just the dedication, the commitment, the drive. They're there. You're there in country for a job. So when you deploy, like, you're there ready. Yet we understand there's some prep, there's some settling in, figuring out where things are, what you've got, make sure that you've got all your kit that's come over or that should have gone over, especially if you're the first swing, first rotation in there. But by then, this is, I think, his third trip over there. So everything should be there for them. And then just getting a bit of a reorientation, a feel for the lay of the land and stuff again before you're wanting to just get up and start rolling. So the fact that they were getting rolled 24, stood down 90 days, it's a long time in country doing nothing. But I was wondering, using that time, still to train, still to prepare, all that type of stuff. And it's good to hear that they did. Whoever it was, Barrett, I think he mentioned, scooped them up. They started getting into it, doing the CQB stuff, getting out on the ranges, probably getting some driving and other bits and pieces done in that as well. Scenario-based stuff, PT, you want to stay ready in case, just like at the drop of a hat, things can happen. Go from hurry up and wait, and that might be days, weeks, or in this case, a few months, and then boom, you've got to move. But it sounds like they just made the decision to pick up and move. Gone to another base, Warhorse, I think was the name of the base that he mentioned, and then they're there meeting up with some of the other people and learning from them. TTPs, I think I heard him mention, the tactics, techniques, and procedures. I'm not sure if that's the acronym that they use, but those are some of the things that get bantered around with regards to the use of TTPs. So I think I heard him say, they got exposed to, or they got exposed to some other types of TTPs which they maybe hadn't considered before. And it's pretty awesome. I learned from one of the comments, I'll have to go back and try to find out who it was, who put a great explanation about DEVGRU and their origins from piracy, from the pirate days, and just how open they are to everything, and that they're not governed by as stringent rules and procedures as a military, as the army might be, or even as the SAS might be. I think even the person that put in there even in comparison to Delta. So DEVGRU's got a much more broader, flexible way of approaching and looking at doing things, which I found really interesting. Just reading through, he wrote a really nice, detailed comment and share and input into the channel in and around one of the reactions that I think I did to DJ's, one of DJ's earlier videos, or in the same interview, but an earlier reaction, I should say. So yeah, really insightful. I haven't had a chance to go doing my own research and digging into that a little bit more, but anybody that has, or anybody that wants to, yeah, that might be a good place to have a look into that, and just hearing the way DJ speaks, the open-mindedness that they seem to have, or that he seems to have when he's speaking about it. It's been interesting for me listening and connecting the dots to that comment that was put in the video earlier. So anyway, let's get back to this guy. Seems to be having a bit of a chat. Good to see him smiling as he's chatting about the 22 SAS lads. Got to blame it on somebody.
Okay, cool. Those guys were great, man. Just I remember seeing them. You see all the unit guys, you see the SAS guys. I mean, I'm a kid, and they look like they're 7 foot tall. Like they look like Marcus Cabone. Like they look enormous. They've all got huge beards and long hair, and like, holy shit, that's what the pros look like. Like now you get to see it up close. Just before, I mean, it's just us. You get to see the other organization. You're like, and you get to hear what they're doing, going out at night, and you don't get to. So you get to hear about this huge firefight they got into, and you got to sit there with the Rangers and twiddle your thumbs and play reindeer games.
You know what I love about the way DJ speaks, man? Even in other bits and pieces that I've seen of him on YouTube, he is a very, very humble man. Well, that's what comes across to me anyway. This guy is not slow or in terms of giving praise or acknowledgement to other people, and in particular in this case to other SF units. Talking about that's what the pros look like, that's what the pros do. That's huge, man, for somebody of his caliber. Equally tier 1 operator, and acknowledging guys from 22 SAS in this particular conversation. But I've heard him speak about other special forces units, other tier 1 units, and I've heard him say nothing but positive things, nothing but acknowledgement, praise for what they do and how they go about doing business. And to me that's awesome that he does that. That's how he speaks, because I think there's a bit of a misconception sometimes people, but I think it's the same anywhere. Americans tend to get a bit of a bad rap from people, in my opinion, from what I've seen and from what I've heard and interactions and conversations that I've had with people. People seem to be very quick to brand and label the whole of America based on a couple of things, or based on a handful of people and their actions and or their comments. And yeah, it's not true. It's an unfair assessment or observation, but it is what people do. And then you have people like this guy here who I'm listening to, and no doubt many other American SF operators, and not just because he's talking about other special forces units, just the way he speaks in general about his experiences, the humility that comes through when he's talking about that, the heartache that you can, that at least I'm getting a sense of when he's talking about the tragic loss of his friends, or when those contacts happen and they're just fighting for their lives. It's not, he's not blowing it up to try to make it anything extra special or more than what it is. It's just spitting the facts. And I love that about this guy and the way that he communicates. Just seems like a very genuine, good human being. And it's cool to see. So, those people that have these perceived ideas about what Americans are like, whatever your interaction, I've met some people from all different races and countries, even some of my own people from here in Aotearoa, that can potentially give a bad rap and name to our own people here in New Zealand. So they're everywhere, but just understand that those interactions doesn't and shouldn't impact or bring you to the conclusion that that's what all New Zealanders are like, or that's what all Australians are like, or that's what all Brits are like, or that's what all Americans are like. The list goes on. So same way with those in the Middle East. That's not what all Iraqis are like. That's not what all Afghan people are like, if we're talking about recent conflicts and those sorts of things. But it is something that tragically and unfortunately happens. Right or wrong, it is what it is.
Until we got to lift and shift. And it was like, okay, let's all be big boys again. And it was fine. It was a decent deployment. Nothing to really write home about. But it showed me showed me the seesaw method. If the op tempo goes up, morale and warfare can go down. Like, you don't need to have Xbox and flat screen TVs and all this crazy shit. If you're working every night, you sleep on cots in a tent with no AC, eating MREs. The happiest dude you'll ever see. Yeah. Nobody gives a shit. When that doesn't happen, morale has to go up somehow. And there was nothing to give you. You can't booze. You can't leave the country. There's nothing to do. You're just stuck there, and you just have to watch other people go out and work. Just to watch how that eroded the unit cohesion. It did. And it took a while to get it back. Like, I mean, you had to really, really bring the boys in. Like, movie time, just, not mandatory fun, but you had to do things to bring everybody back in, to re-explain the why. I think part of the training, part of the mindset conversations, the mission planning conversations they take such a philosophical role then because of him that everybody would buy in. It was like nothing you've ever heard before. His thought process on mission planning. That's a completely different school of thought. Like, that is okay. It's a new concept to us. Just the whole thing. Just everything. The target approach, the methodology between everything. Everything was to the why.
So he was teaching all you guys that. That's a fucking
dude,
hell of a leader.
He is, man. He's amazing. He got to stay and do a troop chief right after that, which, I mean, anybody who's worked with him, I mean, he's a demigod in my eyes. Like, I fucking love that dude. If I had to pick one dude right now that I'd put on my dream team, like, that'd be one of my first picks. He was a great night. Needed him so bad at that moment. And we came back from that deployment, and I was kind of on a negative crash. I was trying to stay positive because I had green team to look forward to. And, I got married, did all that. We flew over to Spain, had the honeymoon, came back, and got into a blowout with my old man. Like, not a big blowout, just an argument. And it escalated into not speaking. Basically starting green team in the blind. So in January of 2010, had an argument, and it escalated from there, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't have any distractions. That platoon chief told me exactly what green team was going to be like. I've seen my buddies go through it. I've heard the horror stories. I know how much pressure's on it. And that's what he kept saying. He's like, you have to have a perfect day every day. No distractions. No booze. No chick drama. Break up with your girlfriend. Do whatever. Don't buy a puppy right now. Like, it's the only thing that matters. Lock it in right now and give it your total commitment, and you'll be successful. And that's what I had to do. So, yeah, a couple months turned into a really long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many guys started the green team?
I'm going to pause this there. It's about 24 minutes. That's sad to hear. Obviously, we'll come back and hear more about what's happened with his dad and them not talking. But man, just hearing him talk about the impact, and I think, sorry if I've got the name wrong, but I think I'm pretty sure I saw the name and heard him mention the name Barrett. And I think that's the gentleman that he's talking about, who he loves, who he just has, dream team, number one pick. It's this guy, his methodology, the mission planning, all that sort of stuff that this guy was taking them through. But loved how DJ's, again, acknowledging this guy about how he would bring them in and connect everything for their team to their why they're doing the work. Love the way DJ spoke about, when the tempo's high and you're working, you can be living in a non-air conditioned tent on a bunk bed, eating MREs, and like you said, some of the happiest people around. But if you're not doing any work, then the need to try to lift morale somehow. There's only so much PT you can do in the day, yet you can still train twice a day. Those things are definitely good from a physical blowout perspective. But I loved how, and if it's the guy Barrett or the leader, sounds like an incredible individual. What a leader. And I think I heard Shawn Ryan mention that as well. Just that guy's ability to, sounds like, really galvanize the team while educating the team, while staying at the top of his game. No doubt he's staying at the very pointy end of his game as a leader, from tactics, from the methods, from the planning, from the concepts, from introducing new ideas, from being open to receiving other types of ideas, and no doubt looking at what other units and other SF units do and how they incorporate things, and being able to somehow grab all of that and bundle it together and distill that information to and with the guys there in DJ's team who are feeling a bit deflated by the sounds of things from that deployment. But man, lots to take in, awesome stuff. Really enjoy listening to DJ and how he speaks. Love the humility of the man, when that really comes through when he's speaking, for me anyway. Love the way he acknowledges other people, whether they're Rangers, whether they're 22 SAS, whether they're just other people in and around his circle that have helped him get to where he is. Love the passion that he has. And I think some of the things that I take away from that, having that passion and drive for what it is that you want to do. If you are single-minded in that, like there's that book called The One Thing. Sorry, I can't remember who the author is. But I know for me, when I've drilled down and focused in on the one thing that I want to do, so right now I'm focusing in on one thing, YouTube, doing these reactions, doing the other stuff, like the other stuff that's coming up in the channel, but that's all connected to this one thing. Had lots of great advice. Hey, you need to get on Instagram. You should get on Instagram, build your following there, blah, blah, blah. They bring them over here. Yeah, when I get the time to get to that, I'll probably look at that. But what I'm doing and what I'm enjoying and what I'm grateful for is the fact that I'm just focusing on this one thing here, YouTube, doing these bits and pieces, but all around YouTube for this channel. And I know when I've focused in on one thing, typically good things have happened. Focusing in on one thing, I want to join the SAS. Focusing in on selection, that one thing. All my training revolves around that and making sure my connections, what I choose to do and not do, hinges and focuses on around that objective and what I'm doing. Okay, got through the cycle, and NZ was able to go back and chose not to go back because of, that's up on the other video. Went to Australia. Like, I'm still not there. The one thing is I still wanted to get into the Special Air Service and serve as an operator. Just continuing to focus on that one thing, always having that there. I've been able to, take that and transfer that, although it may have taken some time to just sort of reset and get back to doing that. It's never too late, in my opinion. So if there is one thing that you're wanting to do, that whatever that thing is, and you focus in on that, I'm confident that if you make those small incremental steps towards getting towards that thing, that it'll happen. It may even surprise you and happen, surprisingly fast. Like I've been blessed and privileged to see my little channel grow the way that it has. Never did I think in 4, 5, or 6 or 7 years that my channel would be at this stage in terms of where it is now. And just very, very grateful. So get out there and chase what it is that you're after. Focus in on that one thing. Hopefully you can take lots away from what DJ shares and how he communicates, and take those things and apply them. Like, look to be the best, cut away stuff if it's not helping, drop that off the radar if it's distracting or if it's not helping you achieve to get to where you want to get to. And I think that if we can apply that and the things that DJ's been speaking about here, then it can only be a good thing. So anyway, that being said, anybody out there going through any challenges or trials or struggles, man, I encourage you, just keep turning up, stay consistent, just put one foot in front of the other. It's a new day, it's a fresh start. Just keep pushing forward, keep turning up, keep staying in the fight. Good things will happen. Better days are ahead. The sun will shine again. So appreciate you and your time, eh? As always, thank you for any support that you give to me just through watching or listening to anything or any parts of the videos. Thank you for, the kind comments and input that lift me up, genuinely lift me up when I go through and read those. So really, really appreciate it. Remember, go always a little further. Who dares wins. And as always, until the next video, a big mana wave filled with my idle heart and appreciation and respect for each of you.